Yeah, 19 payouts, and I think I've had the account for 14 days. I always thought it was cool, like to just make money from your phone. Like, why would you not want to do that, right? You're kind of forced to learn how to trade to be able to pass. You have to go through hard times and really look in the mirror to be like, all right, are you going to quit, or are you just going to admit that it's you and now you just have to change?
Hey everybody, thanks for joining today. Here we've got a funded trader interview with our funded trader Braeden. Thanks a lot for coming on today, Braeden.
Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe you can give us a little bit of your background. I suppose your career, how
Mhm.
you got started into trading, and maybe how long you've been doing it.
Okay. So right now I'm currently 29. Turned 30 in August. Um, I actually started trading a little right before COVID. Um, it was like in September-ish of that year. I think September-ish. Um, Current job, I coach right now. Coach for my old high school, Union Catholic
Nice.
in Jersey. So that's what I do more now. Before COVID, I was actually in sales. Worked at Salesforce. Just as like a business
Hmm.
management development rep. So I did all that stuff, and then I got into trading just based off of like around that time. It was just very popular. I seen people
Hmm.
posting it. I used to trade stocks. I learned that from my mom. Um, and then when I just saw people making money, I was just, I always thought it was cool, like to just make money from your phone. Like, why would you not want to do that, right? So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, let
Nice.
me get into this. And man, a lot of ups and downs. Not gonna lie, definitely a lot of ups and downs. So basically, yeah, this year would be 4 or 5 years.
Hmm.
And then you guys are actually my fourth company that I passed. The other three, unfortunately, they fell through. And I actually
Okay.
heard about you guys through one of my old mentors. Still keep in contact with him. You guys actually posted him on your page, Zaire Allen. You
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah, you posted his thing. So around that time, I wasn't really into like the fundits anymore. I was like, I'm done. And then he told me about this company, and I saw like the quick payouts, 24 hours, and I was just like, this is a no brainer. So I was like, why not? And then I saw how many times you could withdraw throughout the day, and I was just like, wow. I was like, all right, and tried it out, and it's been an awesome experience so far.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, that's really cool. And so I guess your experience through, so you've been funded with four prop firms now. I guess you started on
Yeah,
your own trading account as
yeah,
well, and trading your own money first.
yeah.
Nice. And how did you see going from your own trading account into a prop firm account? How did you find the differences between the two?
To be honest, it actually made me a better trader. Because I feel like you guys have, like just like levels, of like, okay, like this is the daily drawdown. This is how much you can lose. If you lose this, your account is done with, in a
Hmm.
live, especially if you're not experienced enough, you could kind of just do whatever and then lose all the capital, blow your account, over leverage. Been there before, done
Hmm.
that. So with a funded, it's like you can't do that. So
Hmm.
you're kind of forced to learn how to trade to be able to pass. So I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes you could get lucky and pass, but then passing, maintaining, and having it as like a reliable source of income, you have to somewhat know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And once I started to get into that, that's when I noticed my trading started to be different. Just more consistent, more withdrawals, like, and it's just like, okay, I have this account. it's not like I have to refund up the next time I get paid because I blew it, and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it teaches you more like just the mindset of things, which I feel like is most important in trading.
Hmm. And in your trading, then, I guess, how long from the beginning did it take you to get profitable and get consistent? That's what, I guess early on there's always the early profits, which
Yeah.
maybe give you that false sense of security.
Yes, it's
But I guess.
actually yeah, it's actually funny. My first month of trading, I was part of like a group, and then we would get like copy and paste signals, and I would like put them,
Mhm,
not really knowing what I'm doing. And I remember I took this gold trade, and I had no idea what I was doing. I was just putting in trades, and I saw the money I was making, so I just kept putting in entries, and then I ended up making like $1,000 in like a day, and I was like, "What?"
mhm,
Like, okay, and then like when I withdrew it and then made it real, I was like,
mm,
"This." But then, of course, that first month I wasn't consistent. Blew the account probably like the next week, and then
mm,
it was like, okay, how can I find a way to do this, but also not blow the account? So to make it consistent. So then I had
mhm,
to learn strategies, and then it's not even really about the strategies for me. Like it's just me personally. Just like I said, I really feel like the psychological view
mhm,
of trading is so important. Um, like there's so many strategies out there, so it's not like this strategy is better than that strategy. Like I
yeah.
always hear people being like, "Oh, what strategy do you use versus what I use? Maybe I should use yours." Like, well, we're two completely different people. Like maybe that strategy makes more sense to you than it does to me. But it's just like
Mhm,
the psychology of it is was what was my problem. Like I never had a problem getting in profit. I just never kept
yeah.
it. Never kept it. So I was just like, I have to find a way to really get to that point. And you know, that's when you have to go through hard times and really look in the mirror to be like, all right, are you gonna quit, or are you just gonna admit that it's you and now you just have to change?
Mhm. What do you think shifted in your mindset that then, changed the way that you view it into being more consistent and having that mindset of, um, you know, uh, one that's going to help you actually maintain those profits instead of, making profit and then losing it?
Well, I guess one, just growing up, like just like I said, I'm 29 now. So when I first
Hmm.
started, I was 24, 25. So, younger. I'm definitely not, mentally the same person I was back then. And throughout the
Hmm.
years, growing up and then just having different experiences of, just growing up, And for me, it was really just like the disappointment, man. Like just being able to make money, like you know the skill, you
Hmm.
studied, and you are in your own way. Like that's what I always knew for me. Like I,
Hmm.
I was never the type to blame anyone, like or blame the market. Like I was just like, yo, I am doing this wrong. Like because
Mm.
like it was just like I said, it was just my mindset, and I literally just had to put barriers like in my mind. Like like you try to like trick yourself. Like I
Hmm.
literally had to trick myself to be able to put myself in the right direction, if that makes sense. Because it was just like
Okay.
because it's just like, yo, like you have the skill, like you know what you're doing, you have no problem getting in profit. So it's like you're losing it because of you. And if you
Mm.
just focus on doing what you need to do and make it make sense, then you'll be a profitable trader. And just looking up like YouTube videos and learning about like just perspectives and emotional intelligence and just being aware. And
Mhm.
just like I said, just growing up, man. And once I got to that point, I was just like, all right, like I think I could do this. And it got to a point where it's like, no, I know I could do this. I just need to do it and just stop playing around, you know?
Mhm.
And what I actually started doing for you guys, which I actually like, I think it would help traders that's like coming in and stuff like that. I have like brackets for myself, and I
Hmm.
call it low, medium, and high. And those are like what define my days. Because back then, believe it or not, it even sounds crazy to me right now. I used to be like, oh man, I only made $100 today. Like, what do you mean you only made $100? Like, that's good. Like, but just
Yeah.
the way how my mind is, I know what I'm capable of doing. So
Hmm.
it was like a battle between with me and myself, like me versus me. Like I was battling myself, like, okay, take the profit or get back in the market. And when you get back in, you already know what's gonna happen. So it's like really just me versus me. So what I started doing now, I literally have a low day, which is like this is like the lowest amount that if I end the day in profit with or withdraw, I'm fine.
Hmm.
And the medium is like this bracket, and then the high is this bracket. So, like,
Hmm.
let's say I'm trading, it's 1 o'clock now, because I usually only trade like New York sessions because I trade Nas. That's the literally the only
Yeah.
thing I trade. And then once it's like 1 o'clock, like if I only withdrew $300 and I feel like I could do more, but the market like is all wonky and we'll see what's going on, it's like okay,
Hmm.
just not. I'm just done. It's like for example today, uh, I did this interview around this time because I saw
Mm.
that the USD red news. It was the CPI and that makes indices go insane. So I was like, I'm not trading. I was like, I'm gonna get on
Yeah.
this interview. I'm gonna be distracted. Like I'm not even gonna look at the market. It's just learning from your mistakes, man.
Yep.
And the brackets really help me out because it's like, okay, if I hit this low or this medium or this high, I hit my goal. It might not be the
Hmm.
medium or the high, but I hit it and I made enough money to cover my bills. So what's the problem?
Yeah, that's nice. How do you then deal with? So obviously, this is a great strategy of knowing when is enough.
Hmm.
But I guess how then do you deal with when the day, you start off the day and maybe you get a couple of losses under your belt? How do
Hmm.
you deal with that side to make sure that
Oh
you don't
man.
end up falling into that trap?
So for that, I try to stay as logical as possible. It's very hard to do that when you're dealing with money.
Yeah.
But when you just focus on the skill or the move, the money will come. Like I feel like before it was the opposite for me. I was so focused on the money that I would just only care about the money. But if I
Hmm.
focus on the move, the money is gonna come. So it's like, let's say I get in Nas at the 9:30 bell and I pull back and I'm down like 300. I'll be like, okay, let me go to, the 4 hour time frame. Let me go to the daily. Let me see what's going on. And, I have a simple strategy. I don't use anything like crazy. Like I literally only use like EMAs. Like I think it's the 8 and the 14 or the 8 and the 15. And I'll be like, okay, it's pulling back. Let me go to the higher time frames. Let me make sure it pulls back to one of my MAs. Um, is Nas still in a buying trend? Is it still selling trend? Like if it's still
Hmm.
buying and it's just pulling back, it's gonna pull back and then it's gonna go back up. So you just keep it simple. And then
Hmm.
what you can do, obviously, if you're doing the low, medium, and high, you definitely don't want to do that for losses. But like
No.
but if you literally just have like a number, it's like, hey, if I lose $500 today, I'm done. And
Hmm.
I've seen you guys post that on your social media page, and it makes sense. Like, oh, if I get two losses, I'm done. Because it's like if you keep losing, you're gonna lose the account. So it's
Yeah. Yeah,
what's
it's so important because you're talking about the psychology side,
Mhm.
and I guess there's one psychology when you're winning,
Yes.
but you've got the other psychology when you're losing, and it's such an easy trap to fall into,
Mhm.
and I think even the most experienced traders, I think unless you put those roadblocks on front of you,
Yeah,
and you got people on our team or traders I've talked to, and they'll be like, okay, one trade a day. That's the only trade I'll make, and I guess putting these rules in place just stops you
yeah,
from, in your me versus me battle that you're
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, it's actually funny, and it's just also just having the right people surrounding you. Like one
Hmm.
of my friends, his nickname is Keith. He doesn't trade at all, but he's a very good like artist, like
Hmm.
and he makes good money. And I remember it was actually like last week, like I called him, and I was just like, man, like I made this much. I know I can make this, but I know the way I'm thinking is a problem. So it's like, so it's like, it's like if you're on step five, like where were you
Hmm.
at step one, two, three, and four? And he literally was like, hey, like I don't trade, but we're going through the same journey. So it's like,
Mm.
just like stay down, like just keep your head down, keep grinding, and that's my stock bell thing. But like, yeah, like literally, like he was like, yeah, just keep grinding, keep going, and by the time you look up, like you're not going to be at step one. You're going to be at step two, three, four, five, and
Mm.
and that's when I knew like it's not really like yes, it's about trading. You should have a strategy that makes sense, and you shouldn't just be getting in the market doing whatever. But just like we talked about, there's so many strategies that like okay, if there's so many strategies, then this strategy is no better than that strategy. It's all about what fits your style. And then after
Yeah.
that, the most important part is the psychological part, And I've like mentored people and stuff like that before. And I remember sometimes like I would like talk to people and they'd be like, yeah, I got trust issues. I'm like, man, if you got trust issues, I don't know if this is the thing for you then. Because it's like I don't like like what do you want me to do? Because it's like I'm trying to give you advice, and if you got trust issues, so you don't trust me, you don't trust the market,
Mm.
I don't. You about to just keep losing because I don't know what to tell you. So it's
Yeah.
super psychology for me. Like that's when I noticed like my trading just went to like a different level because I
Hmm.
never lost on a move. I've always lost on being greedy, like always.
Okay.
Like
Hmm.
so, it never failed. It never failed.
What would you say to somebody now who's, who's kind of going through the phases,
Mhm.
and let's say they've been trading a little while, but
Mhm.
they've been having that battle, but now it's kind of like, they, like you say, that they've got the strategy side, because again, you find the strategy that works for you, and then the strategies tend to continue to work, but then
Mhm.
you need to work on yourself.
Mhm.
And what would you say to that person that's in that point right now?
What I would say is, to be honest, and I was about to say it sounds crazy, but it doesn't. Like, but if I were you, and you're that person, literally, like, you could get a book or you could like open up your phone, go through like your notes, and literally like figure out where you're messing up at, because like everyone messes up in different places. So it's like, okay, throughout the week, if you trade Monday through Friday, right? When is your most profitable times throughout the day? When is not like your most profitable times? Like me, I literally have an alarm of when I should trade and when I should stop. Like my alarm is like just like I said, 9:30 bell. I'm looking for moves. I stopped trading
Mhm.
around like 4:15 because for some reason after 4:15 I start losing. Like I don't know, like if that's real or not, but that's just what
Mhm.
works for me. And then there's certain days that I don't trade. I tend to not trade on Sundays when the market opens up. Like I feel like, there's gaps and you can't really tell where the market's gonna go. So I usually stay away
Mhm.
from like Sundays and sometimes like Wednesdays, depending on like what's going on. I don't really trade on Wednesdays because I know it's like that midweek reversal. Like I know like that's like a thing. So it's like there's certain days I don't trade. So I really only really trade like 4 days throughout the week, maybe 5 if the market is looking good,
Mhm.
and literally just really focus on what you do wrong and fix it, because everyone does stuff right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, don't focus on the stuff you do right. Focus on the stuff
Mhm.
you do wrong, so you could become a better trader. Like, it's kind of just like I said, I coach track. So it's like,
Nice.
all right, like if this person has really good speed but no endurance, I'm not going to just keep focusing on your speed. Then you're just going to be a one dimensional runner, Like, how great are you going to be if you never work on your endurance? So it's like,
Mhm.
if you want to be the best trader you could be, you have to work on the stuff that you do wrong. Like, how many entries do you put in before your account tells you can't do it anymore? So it's like, all right, if that's the case, just do 2 entries and see if
Mhm.
you can handle it. Like, see what you can or can't handle. Like, we're all human, So it's like, you're gonna be good at stuff and you're gonna be bad at stuff. And it's like, just put the parameters in to give yourself a best chance to make some money. And that's like the best advice that I can get. Like don't be upset, like don't get discouraged. Like you just gotta stay down and keep going. Like, it's actually
Mhm.
funny. I was watching ESPN, and you know how, like, Boston, they won, the title for like NBA and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
And I forgot who said it. I don't think it was Stephen A. I don't know who it was, but they said most people that have like really really good talent, they don't start hitting their stride and winning championships till like year 5 through 7. So there was like, oh, LeBron James didn't win his first chip till year 7. They was like, oh,
Mhm.
Michael Jordan didn't win his first chip till year 7. And I just noticed it was like a trend. Like, the Boston Celtics, like that group of Tatum and Brown, that was year 7. And I was like,
Mhm.
that's interesting. Like, why does 7 keep popping up? And just like I said,
Mhm.
this is about to be year 5 for me. So it's like, if those guys isn't going to give up, like, yeah, we're not athletes, but we're traders. But it's just the perspective of things, right? So it's like, you
Mm.
have to flip it. Like what they do can relate to us, just in different ways. Like, if they're not going to quit their journey until they win a championship, and then it happens in year 7, if you want to
Mhm.
be a profitable trader or a master trader, whatever you want to do, like, you got to put in the work. Like, you're not gonna wake up one day and study all in one day, and then the next day you're making money and you're making that $1,000 a week. Like, it's just not gonna happen. So it's like, you have to be realistic and really want to do it. Just like I said,
Mhm.
I've always, like, as soon as I heard about it, like, I was just like, this is awesome. And my
And
my college background too. I went to East Stroudsburg. Do you know where that is? It's in P.
no.
It's in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
they actually have a major slash like concentration, and it was entrepreneurship. So
Nice.
yeah, so
Mhm.
like when I was in college, like, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like, I never wanted to work for anybody, like, ever.
Yeah.
Like, even you got ask my mom. Like, growing up, like, I just never liked the idea of it. I didn't get it. Like, if you can
Mm.
make your own money, why not do it? Like, why pick the other option? Like, that's just how
Mhm.
I've always been wired. So it's like, for me, it's like, this is a dream. So it's like, why would I mess my dream up for being greedy? It's like, I've been doing
Mm.
that for so long. Like, why not, for once in your life, just do the opposite and see what happens? And it's been working.
Yeah, nice. What do you think it is? Going back to your kind of your reference on the sports side, what do you think it is at that year 5 to 7 that changes or that clicks and
uh,
leads to that kind of success?
to be honest, I think it's what we deal with as traders. It's the losses, man. Like,
Hmm.
with Jordan, he had to go through, the Pistons and all that stuff back then, and LeBron, when he first came in, the Spurs was stacked, like, and he just kept losing. Like, he literally brought that one team. I don't know if it was like his third year or fourth year, like, they had no, like, everyone knew that he was gonna get swept in the finals, and he just kept learning and learning and learning
Mhm.
and learning. Then he went to Miami. He learned from Dwayne Wade, like, and I actually feel like that's important too, like having that support system and having that one person that's there already that can teach you
Mhm.
how to get there. Some people can just keep going until they figure it out, like they either have like good coaches or good mentors, good support system. So I feel like those years is just learning, man. Like learning who you
Mhm.
are, learning what to do, what not to do. When it comes to the sports side, I guess like get into like, like a rhythm of like, okay, I've been here before, and then like with
Mhm.
trading, like just like I said, like I've lost so much to that news. I refuse to trade it. Like when I saw it on Forex Factory, I was like, I'm not doing this today. I was like, I already know what's going to happen. And
Mhm.
especially with the fund, it's like you have daily drawdown. So like it could just smack your daily drawdown and buy up to where you thought it was gonna go. And then what was that for? Nothing. Like, so it's just like,
Mm.
just experience learning, man. Like I definitely think that's why I said like that year 5, that year 7, like you start to do that part, like get to learn it. And I really think it's the maturity a part of it too. Like you really have to look
Mhm.
at yourself at the end of the day and figure out like, all right, like what are my flaws? Like what are my flaws so I can do this to make me like more money. And I feel like trading helped me become a better person because like you kind of have to change to
Mhm.
get to where you go because you can't remain the same person and make the same money you're making. So it's like if you want to
Yep.
get to here, you mentally have to get to here. Like there's some people like I'll talk to sometimes like on Instagram I'll post like my screenshots and I'll be like, oh, I hit this like crazy like sniper for today. And they be like, oh man, how much you made? And I'm like, it's not important. Like the important is the move. Like the move is important.
Mhm.
Like the money comes with the move. Like that's when you focus on the money. You're just not gonna get there. And then I'll try to
Yep.
explain that to them. They be like, yeah, man, I don't know. Like over leveraging is the way. And it's like, yeah, I have to get away from you because that's how I thought like years ago. And I don't want to go back to that because it's nothing but pain. Like it's just
Yeah.
nothing but pain. So yeah, just learning, growing up.
Nice. And so I guess now that you're in this stage of your trading, I guess what's your goal? What are you looking to achieve over the next few years?
Mm. That's actually crazy because just like I told you before, like literally like 2 months ago, I wasn't even thinking about doing this. Like I was just
Mhm.
like coaching, trading on the side and figuring it out. And my I just feel like a lot of stuff is like aligned. Like my season was almost over. Like I had like a month and like a couple weeks left before nationals. And then that was when my friend Zaire told me about you guys. And just like I
Mhm.
said, I told him, I was like, "Man, I'm done with these. Like, just let me know how your experience is." And the experience he had is the experience I had. Like, he got his refund on time. He got his withdrawal on time. Everything happened the way it happened. Um, and I trust him. So I was like, "All right, let me try it out." And I tried it out and it was amazing. The customer service team is amazing because I actually had some stuff like messed up for like 3 days and they were
Mhm.
awesome. Like they were awesome. Like I remember one time, like I got into a trade and I, I don't know if it was like Trade Locker was like updating or something, but I got
Mhm.
into the trade. But when I tried to put my stop loss and profit, it wouldn't let me. And
Okay.
I sent a screenshot and I ended up losing money. And I was just like, "Ah, here we go again." Like, me thinking negative. I sent the screenshots. They put the money back in the account. I was like, oh, okay. Like, okay, cool. I was like, all right, all right. And then the next day, I remember I called like a nice move on Nas, and I wanted to close it. I literally had
Hmm.
trade open for 2 or 3 days. It would not close, and you guys didn't know what's going on. I contacted a trade locker. They didn't know what was going on. And I don't know who I talked to that day. I would have to look back in the emails. They literally gave me the profit. They ended my challenge, gave me a new challenge with
Hmm.
with the profit that I made in the old challenge. I was like, okay. I was like, this is different. I was like, this is
Good.
an experience. Like it, like literally, like great experience, like great vibes, and I was just like, okay. And then when after I passed, I was like, yeah, man, I'm so happy. Like definitely happy. Can't wait to make money. And I definitely would say in the future, like just right now, I have a 50K account. Um,
Hmm.
the accounts that I had before, like for like the old prop firms that I was before, I used to have 100K accounts. But
Okay.
just like that mindset, I was just like, let me start off slow. Let me see what's going on. Let me see what I can handle. You know, and
Hmm.
like so far, I feel like I've been handling the 50K well. And
Hmm.
definitely think I'll be ready for the 100 soon. Like I think after this month, I might take it and hopefully I pass before my birthday. So that'd be cool.
Nice. 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 No, that's really cool. So I guess, do you have any questions for me?
Uh for me to be honest, it's just like I I definitely want to know like how did you guys get started with this? Like where did the idea come from? Cuz it's
Hmm.
really like from the outside looking in, it just truly sounds like too good to be true. So it's just like how did this happen?
Yeah. So we got started with this because, so before this, so with FunderPro, we
Yeah,
provide technology as well to
okay,
other prop firms.
okay.
And so we've been providing the technology much longer than we've actually been a prop firm ourselves.
Mm,
And we were doing it, and we started to see maybe about a year and a half ago that the industry was just kind of, it's kind of broken. And
yes.
the people in our system, we were always very tight with who we would work with. And we only wanted to work with people doing things the right way, because we didn't want to be part of providing technology to anybody who was not doing right by the customer. um, but we just started seeing the industry and the way it was going, and everybody was just moving towards easier, cheaper, faster challenges.
Mhm,
The numbers just don't work out. And from the beginning, even when we started providing the technology, we were like, but it's just, your risk is unlimited, because if you're running a prop firm where you're internalizing the risk, your risk is unlimited.
mm,
Whereas if you actually fund the trader, your risk is limited. You can only hit 10% drawdown, and that's it. So your risk is capped. And so for us, it really was just like a no-brainer. It was like, why is nobody doing this? um, and we started then hearing other companies, people coming and asking us, oh, can your technology do this when a trader is doing well, and can it do that? And we were like, no, what are you doing? And so we were like, look, I think we need to enter the market,
yes.
because for our customers, our business to business customers, we also just wanted to show it's actually, you can run a good profitable business while still being on the side of the trader. And okay, it takes a bit more capital, so you can't just set it up with no capital behind you, but you can do it, and it's possible. And now you can actually do so many more interesting things. So really, it was just we just saw the market needed it, and
Mm,
so that's how we got in. So, but it's allowed us to do a lot of things. So in the beginning, we were one of the first companies to do the unlimited time. Again,
yeah.
we saw it just made sense for a real funds trader to do unlimited time. We've always done the real funding, but because we did the real funding, we were like, why would we wait 14 days to do a payout? Why don't we just do it every day? um, and then it became somebody tried to take two payouts in the same day, and we were like, well, why don't we let them?
Yeah.
So it was like the whole way through, it was just experimenting, coming up with new features that actually just allowed, the trader to make money when they deserve to make money.
Yeah.
And then I think one of the biggest things for us was also like the mindset that I have, and it's kind of it's funny because we could have as a business grown so much quicker, but I've always been of the mindset of the customer doesn't always know right. And that kind of is also to a point of saying like they don't know what the best thing is for themselves. And so we have a consistency rule.
Yes.
Not everybody likes that. But we know that if the consistency rule is in place, back to your point, it's like you learn how to be a better trader because of the rules.
Yes.
And so we were like, we'd be more popular if we didn't have a consistency rule. But actually, by having the consistency rule, we can we can offer better challenges and we can have a better environment for traders. And they actually, if they get funded with us, the chances of them making profit is going to be so much higher.
Yep.
So that's what we did. We were learning all the way. But we just in the beginning we just saw the industry needed it, which now obviously a year later, we see all these prop firms going down. You were affected by three of them, and it's like
Yeah.
the writing was on the wall for quite a while. But now that it's coming through, hopefully we're here for traders that need a safe place.
Yeah. No. And I was actually one of those people. You remember when I told you like my trade got messed up, so then they transferred the
Hmm.
profits into a new one. So when they transferred the profits, I had the profits, but they didn't keep the consistency rule
Uh huh.
as it was
Yeah. Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
account. So I actually passed profit wise before
Hmm.
the consistency rule. So I was just like, why didn't I pass yet? And I remember I hit up customer service and it was like, yeah, consistency rule. And I was just like, what? And I was just like, in my mind, I was just like,
Hmm.
why? Like, but I passed. But in my mind, I'm like, but this makes sense though, because like anybody can get lucky like off of a trade.
Hmm.
If you're consistent and you're gonna keep doing what you're doing, like it's just preparing you to maintain your account. Like that's literally like how I did it. And I was like, and in my mind, I was like, okay, if I could pass and I can't pass the consistency rule, and if I end up failing,
Hmm.
I don't even deserve the account. So it was like, all right, and then I literally passed the next day. So I was
Yeah.
like, all right, yeah. So, but no, yeah, it's definitely different. I know sometimes like I look at like the Instagram page and I see people complaining about it, but I'm like, I get where they're coming from, but like
Hmm.
someone who's on the other side, it's needed because it's just gonna make you a better trader. And then
Yeah.
at that point, if
Yeah.
you can't do it, then you got to go back to the drawing board and get a little better.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. And even, because I think that's where the industry needs a little bit of a mentality shift, is because everybody's been used to a prop firm that doesn't actually fund them. And so when you now start trading with Funder Pro, if you have a 200K account, you need to imagine that that's like, imagine you could spend that 200K on an apartment.
Yeah.
And now, so it's like that's real money. That's like a mortgage,
Yep.
amount of money. And so for us, we need to protect that
e-
because it's a lot
Exactly.
of money to be playing with. Whereas other places it's simulated, it's virtual, so it's different.
Yeah. It's like you guys are putting out most of the risk. So
Yeah.
it's like you got to respect the rules, and it's just like yeah, like when you really think about it, like just like we always talk about, it's just like the perspective way of looking at it, right? It's just like
Mm,
like there's so much other things that you can complain about, and it's like a consistency rule and how much the drawdown is on certain accounts. It's like, man,
Mhm.
trust me, like it's not that big of a deal. Like, would you rather stay home and trade and make $100 or $200 a day, $300 a day, or would you rather go get in your car and do Uber for the whole day and actually have to interact with people if you don't like that, getting people in your cars and stuff like that? Like it's just a no brainer. It's really just about the perspective of things. It's like
Yeah.
once you understand someone else's perspective, if you still don't get it, then it's kind of it's not really else to talk about.
Mhm. Nice. Um, okay, well, look, I think we can leave it there.
Yeah.
Uh, it was really nice, really, really great chatting to you. And yeah, thanks so much for giving us your time today.